My Infiniti is back on the channel, but before that I want to talk about my Porsche 911 because there was a bargain deal that was just too good to pass up on. Then I'm going to be working on my QX56. A few parts have aged and I got to replace it, but I do come across some problems, but I was able to overcome it. Later I provide some updates on my model car collection because there's a new lineup of cars that I just bought. On the last episode, I mentioned that I'll be spending some time today working on my QX56. A few weeks ago, I got some parts for it, so I've been pushing it back for a while, but today I'm going to get the job done. I pulled my car up close to the garage, so if I need some tools, I have it readily available. But before I jump into that project, I want to show you what I got for my 911. I'm always on the lookout in the marketplace to look for good deals for either my 911 or my M5. And some parts that are not on my radar appear when I'm not ready to buy it, and some don't appear when I'm ready to buy. So the part that popped up on the marketplace was something I wasn't ready to buy because it's one of those more expensive parts, but the part showed up and the price was just too good to pass up on. I've been meaning to upgrade the rest of my components on my intake system. Right now I only have the K&N drop-in filter, but I want to start working from the filter back to the intake manifold. And what I'm talking about is the throttle body and the plenum. So the item that I just purchased is right over here. Let me turn my camera around and I'll show you what I got. There are different companies out there that make aftermarket plenums for the 997 911, but the one that I was keeping my eye out for was the one made by IPD. The reason why I want this one is because it's a wide design, and the one on my car right now is shaped like a T. So with this design here, it's not plastic like the OEM one. And what is a big advantage here is right here. This is the plenum with the 82mm opening where it connects to a throttle body. So that means I need to get the 997 GT3 throttle body in order to mate with this perfectly. It did come with the O-ring or the gasket when I bought this, but I think I'm going to replace it because it looks like it's worn down a little bit. But for the most part, this part is pretty much brand new. And look at that inside right here. It's a lot more better for airflow compared to the T design that comes with the OEM 911. And the company that makes this is called IPD. And those in the Porsche community are pretty familiar with this particular brand. Before I get started on working on my QX56, I want to show you what I got. And the item that I bought for it is right behind me here on my workbench. So let's check it out. So here's the radial bezel for my QX56. The one that I have right now has numerous cracks on the top over here and on the other side as well. And the way this is set up is all in one piece. So I couldn't just buy the top piece. What I'm going to do today is remove the old one and replace it with this brand new one. What I found interesting on this is it comes with the aircon vents. Right here is where the climate control is at, and then the opening up here is for the Navi. So it pretty much comes with everything. I'm in my QX56 right now from the passenger side. It gives me a little bit better reach on some of the components on the bezel. So I'm going to start my work from this position. This is the current condition on my bezel. You can see up here there's cracks. There's more cracks right over here, some over here, some down here, and the dome over here got a lot of cracks. So I think the way I'm going to approach this is I got to take off the shifter panel first, and then I'll be able to remove this part right here, and then the bezel should be able to come out. I'm not too sure I'll take out the dome, but once I get this out, I think it'll present some tabs or screws where I can remove it. I was able to get the panel out, but it wasn't an easy just pop out the terminals. Some of them were a little bit challenging to get out. Here's the cables that I pulled out. I had to use these tools right here to be able to push some of the plugs down, and then I use this part here to kind of pull out the plugs. So these were helpful tools in this job. Now I gotta figure out how to pull out the bezel. Here's the one I just purchased. It looks like it's just a snap-on. I don't see any screws on any of these pieces here. So I'm gonna start probably from the top and then work my way to the bottom. So this job wasn't as straightforward as I anticipated. You can see I had to break some of the parts of the bezel just to get it out. But I was able to get it out here. There was a screw down here, you can see right there, that I had to remove because this panel right here was kind of securing it down. Same thing with this over here. I had to remove some screws on my glove box so I could pull it out a little bit, because you can see right here, the shape here is, it was held down by the other panels, so I had to loosen it in order for it to come out. Here's the old panel and the new one. I have it right on top of it because it looks like I'm gonna have to retain this unit here, and the mounts are right here. So this is the only thing that I think I need to retain from the OEM bezel. So it's pretty much a simple job, just held down by 2 Phillips screws. In addition to the unit that was down here, it looks like this filler plastic piece here also needs to be retained, because on the new one it's just open like that. So I'm gonna pull that out and put it right here. It was a pretty simple swap and it just snapped right in. Now that I was able to get the bezel out, my next job is to get this dome right here that covers the speakers. I'm not too sure how it's gonna come out, but I'm assuming it's just tabs like the other one. I do want to retain this because I'm just going to weld the plastic back together, because this part is over $300. I think I could work on this, restore it, and then reuse it. The good news is I was able to take out the dome. The bad news is it's now in pieces. I think there's still some hope for me to be able to put this back together. So I'm gonna bring this to my garage and start welding the plastic pieces. I'm here at my work desk, and these are the pieces I have to work with. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you can see all the different pieces that I need to weld together. I wanna start off with the big pieces first, like I normally do. And then there's other small pieces in this area right here. And then also some of these pieces here to secure the speakers. And those pieces are right here. I'm not going to show the whole process of welding each, but I'll throw some slides so you can see the process. So this is going to be the first part of today's session as far as welding. I was able to get all the welds connected pretty tight. I did drop this piece right here, so I ended up having to weld more parts. But I'm going to continue on with this project, and in about maybe 15 hours, I'm going to try to fit the other pieces and put the big pieces together so that it could be one. This is the current status of my project. Earlier I had mixed some Bondo so that I could fill in some of the uneven edges. And then I sanded it first with 180 grit sandpaper, then moved on to 600 grit. My initial plan was to paint this to color match the rest of my interior. But instead of painting it, I'm thinking of using some vinyl material instead because if I paint it, I know it's going to show some imperfections on the finish. Using a matte or even a forged carbon type vinyl would cover up some of those imperfections. So what I'm going to do is fast forward this project and show you what it looks like right now in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. After about 15-20 minutes, I was able to wrap the dome with some forged carbon vinyl. The reason why I went with this route is because you notice it pretty much hides all the imperfections, and it was a pretty quick fix. And this is going on my QX56, so I'm not looking to replace it with something brand new. Now that this job is done, I think it's going to eliminate the rattle that I have on my dash. And not only that, it's also going to look a lot better without any more cracks. One of the next items that I need to get done on my QX56 is to change the oil. I got all the supplies to do the job, so that's probably something I'm going to do when I come back from vacation. The off-topic discussion for this episode is about my model car collection. I got a few new cars, so I'm going to head to my office and show you what I got. I recently purchased a few new cars to add to my model car collection, and the 1/18 scale is the Lamborghini Centenario. The one above it is the 1/24 scale Porsche GT3 RS, and the one that's not in the box is a Nissan GTR, which is in 1/36 scale. I house my cars in several display cases, which is on this side I have 2 for my 1/24 scale cars. And then on this side, I have 1 for my 1/18 scale, which is the upper deck. And then up on the roof and on the bottom floor, I have my 1/36 scale cars. Aside from the cars that I have displayed on my cases, I also have others that are not displayed. So what I'm going to do for the new cars that I have right now is I'm going to replace some of the cars that are currently housed in these cases. So for the Centenario, which is the 1/18 scale, I'm going to have to pull out one of these cars here. And what I've decided to remove is the Ford GT. As you can see, there are all different colors, and there's 2 cars that are blue. But not only that, I have several Ford GTs in my collection, and I don't have any Centenarios. So having the green Centenario will definitely complement my 1/18 scale car collection. The next is my 992 GT3 RS. Right behind it on my 1/24 scale Porsche collection, I have a 996 GT3, 997 Turbo, and another 996 GT3. So what I've decided is to remove this 996 GT3 and replace it with the 992 GT3 RS. As for the R35 GTR, those are housed up on the roof and also on the bottom deck. The bottom deck I have my McLarens and my Porsches. So what I'm going to do, since there's not that much space on the roof here, I'm just going to set it right in the middle here to blend in with the rest of the cars. Here's my setup now with the cars rearranged to account for the new ones. So the 992 GT3 RS is here now. This Centenario is down here, and the GTR is right up there. On the next episode, I'm going to meet up with the guys and we're going to cruise to an event. It's been about a month since we got together, so we're all pretty excited about it. That's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you on the next one.
Wow.